Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is Ship Updates. Now, this episode obviously is going to turn up a little bit late because this is actually the second episode that I'm recording today, because I kind of assumed, this being the summer, this is generally something that I refer to as the dry period, or kind of walking through the desert, because often most of the good updates, the juicy things, tend to wait until we get CitizenCon. And so generally we might get a couple of little drops towards the end of summer, some little things, but generally the big stuff comes at CitizenCon. And so I recorded a different episode. I kind of did one of those calling all devs type things where I kind of go through the forums and troll a little bit and just kind of have some fun. And it turned out fairly good, and I was kind of happy with it. And then I went, oh no, CIG posted an episode. What are they talking about? And, they were talking about ships and one of the concept artists. And very quickly I realized this is the guy who did the Prowler. And I just stopped. I was just like, stop the presses. I gotta watch this. So I got pretty excited about that. I'm not gonna lie. I was just kind of like chomping at the bit. What? The guy who made the Prowler? Oh, okay. Because I wanted to sit down. I was hoping that there was going to be not really a direct rebuttal, but maybe some kind of a soft rebuttal. Like, I understand that some people saw this and then saw another ship and said, oh, there's a little bit too much similarity there. But, here's my creative process. Here's how I came to that design. And so I was looking for that. I was expecting that. I was hoping for that. Didn't really get it. So I felt a little disappointed. I wanted a rebuttal. I wanted to be wrong in a way. And I was waiting with bated breath. Like, just tell me I'm wrong. Show me your process. Cool. Didn't happen, unfortunately. I wanted it to be, but unfortunately it was not. And so I kind of went, okay, so this is just going to be kind of a review of the designs that I've done, and maybe some dips into the, the directions that we didn't go with certain ships. And I've said, all right, well, it'll be an interesting watch, And then they came to the Kraken. And, the Kraken is a ship that certainly on this channel, there, by the way, is a giant capital ship landed on a planet. Weird. Or a moon. Who knows? There may be mitigating circumstances there. That's a bit of a touchy issue, even to this day. But when they were talking about the Kraken, they started showing the concept images of the roads not traveled, right? And I forgot these images ever existed. And these were all kind of early shots. And so you'll see in the top right-hand corner of this image, you'll start seeing, shadow play. All of a sudden, just up there in the little corner, you see the little green things popping up telling you I'm taking screenshots right now because I'm just slapping that button. I really wish that image right there, especially, and that one too. I really wish CIG had continued on this vein with the Kraken. I really liked this. And it was just, when I was looking at it, I just thought, man, that is such a great idea. There's some little bits and pieces that you may not agree with, but overall, I thought that was just such a solid direction. I mean, it's reminiscent slightly of the Crucible a little bit, but it definitely has its own personality, and it just looked so solid. And I just went, man, I wish they had really continued along that line of thinking. Now, looking at this stuff, I don't own a Kraken. Right, so I would never presume to kind of pull somebody's ship out from under them and say, oh, by the way, I think it should be totally redesigned. But I don't own one. It's kind of a jerk kind of position to hold. it's, the ship is not meant to appeal to me, especially if I don't own it, right? I mean, part of the appeal of some of these ships is sometimes they just have a look or an appearance that resonates with the player. And they go like, I want that. And sometimes, sometimes it doesn't come from, I would say, maybe the healthiest place, but sometimes it, having something like that can push a player along on a journey. It can give them a reason to pursue something, give them an inspiration. And sometimes, players will explore types of gameplay or things like that otherwise they wouldn't. It can sometimes inspire them to kind of move out of their comfort zone. And so, it's certainly the Kraken has that appeal for some people. And I've liked it for a long, long time. I'm still little bit nervous about population limits, especially around ships of that size. I mean, I think we're all reasonably safe that we're going to be able to use our ships and fully crew them in the persistent universe, but I still get one of my eyebrows up whenever, someone goes like, oh, by the way, the Javelin carries 80 people. I'm like, I don't know. But, certainly seeing something like that, and seeing such different geometry for a ship and seeing such unique geometry for a ship, it sometimes, I don't know. I feel that, when we're watching these shows and they're talking about different ship concept designs, and it always kind of seems to come back to, and then we took it to Chris, and Chris said yes or Chris said no. And sometimes, there are things that Chris approves and it's just like, yeah, that's fine, that's fantastic. But then there are some times when I kind of feel that I kind of wish that sometimes he kind of said, maybe I don't like it, but I bet you there are other people out there who really would like that design. Now, the images certainly aren't new. In fact, these aren't actually the screenshots that I took off of the video, because once they started flashing by, I went, oh no, wait, no, these are in the subscriber area. I remember these now. And I don't know, maybe I dragged them up and made a video about them a while ago. I make so many, but it's something like this that I kind of wish that there were times where Chris kind of just let go of the reins and said, just do something cool. It doesn't have to appeal to me, but I bet you it's going to appeal to somebody else. And I feel that this was really just such a huge step in the right direction. It's different and unique, and I don't know. I really, really wish that this model had gone the distance. I sincerely do. I feel that this was a really strong point with those little fighter bays on the side and then the big landing pad in the middle, kind of hunkered down in between those two, well, I guess you wouldn't call them catamarans, but the two hulls on either side. Man, that is just such a great design. That totally looks like, it doesn't look really like all that much of a military vessel as compared to the more dedicated military vessels in the Star Citizen universe. But this definitely looks like a ship that lives out on the fringe of deep space. And I for me personally, I like this better than the current Kraken design. A lot more. I mean, had this been what the Kraken originally was, I might have a much smaller fleet today. I mean, I've always been very leery about the idea of buying, especially a large size capital. I mean, I've had opportunities in the past and I've turned them down, but I don't know. I understand when people say, I just had to have it. I totally get it. This is something that really, I think, would have pushed me into kind of like going, I gotta have it. Damn, it's times like this, when CIG shows us things, you know, certainly when they show us ships and the directions they could have gone and didn't, you know, sometimes I kind of wish that that wasn't there, because sometimes you see things in that were rejected designs and you kind of go like, man, I wish they really explored that more. But this, to me, yeah, I gotta say it. I mean, this to me just represents a massive missed opportunity. And to be perfectly honest, I wish that there was a reason for CIG to bring this back as something else. I really, really do, because I feel like this is one of those times when, you know, the looks wise, in my opinion, I realize it's all subjective. Some people look at this and go like, ugh. But for me, this is nailing it right here. And it's not even textured, it's not even finished, but yeah, it definitely gives you that kick in the inspiration. You know, it kind of makes you want to. This is like what the best ship designs in Star Citizen do. They make you kind of look at it and just imagine what it would be like to play with that in the persistent universe. And that's a really good, solid visual design, I think. And this, yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's all subjective. But to me, this represents a massive missed opportunity. I wish they had pursued this hull geometry. I really do. Well, who knows? Anyways, yeah. I was hoping today's episode was going to go in a different direction when I saw that video went up and I saw who was going to be on it. But yeah, you know, it just kind of it made me kind of wish that, I don't know, somewhere along the way, as ships kind of go from concept to something in game, that maybe the players had an opportunity to, you know, when you're looking at a few different hull geometries, maybe if players had an opportunity to kind of nudge it in one direction or another. Because I really wish Chris had let the artists run with that design. Anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.